You are listening to the Iconic Agent New Construction Marketing Podcast.
I'm Nathaniel Crawford.
And I'm Damon Green.
We've helped agents sell over $400 million in new construction since 2020.
And now we're here to skyrocket your sales. Let's build your real estate empire and create the life you deserve. In this episode, we answer the question, what is a good commission for new construction? All right, so we have conversations with agents across the country all the time. And we have actually two clients that came to me in the DMV area. So if you're not familiar with DMV, DC, Virginia, Maryland, a lot of new construction going on up there. After the NAR settlement, agents are already kind of on edge. Are we going to get paid? Do we need to use these brokerage agreements? Yes, if you're with NAR. But what if the builders don't pay? Now, surprisingly to me, we found out that D.R. Horton, a couple of the other builders, this is market specific, which is why it's so important. You hear Nate talk about this all the time. You got to get out there and build those relationships. You need to know what new construction in your area, what's going on, what incentives they have for you, your clients, and if they're moving commissions. It just so happens, which amazed me, because D.R. Horton down in Texas, in the South, Southeast, and the South, they tier commissions. So they do typically start 2.5 is the lowest I've seen, I believe. 2.5 to 5%. You sell a certain number, you go to 3%, then you get 4%, then you go to 5%. There, a lot of the builders in the area, and DR was included, they dropped down to 2%. And they're like, whoa, the builders are dropping to 2%. What do I do? My immediate response is, okay, so let's do some basic math. Nate, you're faster on your brain and math than I am. So $500,000 at 2% is what?
I don't know. That's what, 10,000, right?
Don't ask me right, because I don't know. 10, okay, 10,000, because it's 15,000. I know it's 15,000 at 3%. So that's 10,000. Okay. Ask yourself, is $10,000 a good commission? Forget the fact that you could have made 15. Is $10,000 okay? If you want to make 15, what would you have to sell at 2% to make 15?
That's a good question.
7?
Yeah, ish, somewhere in there.
Okay. So the idea is, if the commission's dropped and, there's the whole, well, I'm going to give my buyers, and I know you have different opinion on this. Say it's $500,000 and you're like, I'm going to get the 2% from the builder, but I have a buyer brokerage agreement filled out and I need you to pay me the extra 1%. Some folks will be able to, some won't. Mm-hmm. That, for me, in my brain, that would cause some tension between the client and themselves, unless you're really providing the value. So that is an option. Not saying don't do that. But my thought process is, instead of adding friction and wondering, oh, the client's going to do this, I'm just going to increase my price point.
Yep.
So if it's going to be 2%, instead of selling $500,000 homes, sell 700 plus. So you're still getting that $15,000 commission. Because what you want to think through, and we had a client in West Palm that went to a builder, I want to say it was Culture. And she was like, she did the research, she followed the process. She's like, wait a minute, they're only paying 2%. Okay. I would never do that. I'm worth more than that. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I can kind of get that. But they're paying 2% on $1.2 million. Now, is $20,000 commission at 2% better than zero? So when you're thinking about the commissions, if it is too low, raise your price point. But think about, what is your number? Instead of the percentage, what is your number? Is $10,000, is that a minimum acceptance? Is it 15? Is it 20? If that's the case and they're only paying 2%, go with that. I will take 2% on 1 million or 1.2 or 1.3 all day.
Don't get stuck in the rhetoric of the real estate. You want to focus on the reality. What the numbers are, the numbers.
That's a bar. Say that again.
Don't get stuck on the rhetoric of the real estate. You want to focus on the reality. And the numbers aren't going to lie. If you know your numbers, that you want to do, then you adjust accordingly. Don't get lost in the noise.
And remember, ROI. What is your return on the investment? Boom. Thanks for tuning in to the Iconic Agent New Construction Marketing Podcast for Realtors. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast player. Visit theiconicagent.com and grab the new construction buyer traction blueprint. And don't forget, join the 5,000 plus strong new construction marketing community at www.theiconicagent.com/community. Catch you on the next episode.